All right, welcome back. And in your first video, you created your first project. And in this video, we're going to create our first requirement. But before we do that, let's hop over to our project and let's take a look at this code analysis tab. And so we can see the last time we created the first two, and now we've actually created the remaining documents. Let's take a look at the code base summary. So the code base summary essentially breaks down the overall purpose and domain and provides some key concepts and domain terminology, as well as a technology stack for the application that we connected to in that repository. All of this is used when we want to create a requirement as context, so the agent is grounded in the domain of what your product is, has the understanding of your product, and then can also use the code in the GitHub repository to accurately create the requirements and break that down into tasks. So let's head back to the dashboard. Now we would say create requirement. In this case, I'm going to write one from scratch. And I'm going to say, so since this is a workout generator, I'm going to say I want to add a new type workout. This will be a high intensity interval training. And we'll say start. Once we click start, all of that context I talked about earlier is now pulled in. So you can see what branch it's on. You can see the documents. That shows me the repository it's connected to. And our agent is going to start utilizing those documents and thinking about how it's going to implement the feature we want to implement. So this will take a little bit of time. As you can see, it's starting its thinking and its investigation. We'll take a look at what it's trying to do here. So you can see it's using the context. You can see what type of application this is, and you can see that it currently supports CrossFit and Zone 2 workouts. So the agent is designed to deeply understand your product, so that way we can build the robust requirements that we want to create for you, and use the code base in order to ensure that there's a high degree of accuracy when you're actually using one of the code agents to actually implement the tasks that would come out later. So as you can see here, we're actually searching through GitHub. Now we're starting to list files. We're going to start reading the files. Start to see the results as it's reading more files than GitHub, so it can better understand the code and the code base. Let's see what it's doing here. There we go. So in this case, we read this route file. You can see what repository came from, what relevant content, and then we summarize all of that because we don't actually need, the agent doesn't need the entire file itself. It just needs the important pieces to use for actually writing the requirement. All right, great. You can see here it's analyzed the code base and understands how the workout types are currently implemented. You can see that we currently support two types of workouts, CrossFit and Zone 2. And then it says before it writes the requirements for adding the new workout type we asked, it's got some clarifying questions to ensure it captures the needs what we're looking for. And we generate clarifying question. BrainGrid generates these in this nice form like this. So let's take a look at the first one. So these questions are designed to help the end user, which is me in this case, to think through, to really deeply think about the product and what we want from the product, to help us think through edge cases. Let's see this first one. I see your system already has CrossFit Zone 2. What's the main goal of adding HIIT? We're just going to say provide shorter time efficient workout options. And then scroll too far. Looking at how your OpenAI integration creates CrossFit, how should HIIT workouts be structured? We'll do Tabata style. Track should HIIT workouts use the same equipment? Yes, use the same equipment. What's the duration? We'll do a standard HIIT. And look at your hybrid scheduler. How should HIIT workouts fit in the existing schedule? We'll just say users can, we'll just say it can be mixed in with the CrossFit and Zone too. Yes, we'll create similar function. And once I click submit, BrainGrid will do a little more thinking. And it's now going to create the requirements. And now we have our requirement document, which you can read through. BrainGrid requirement documents always start with the problem statement, and then we'll typically go into the jobs to be done, make its way through the technical requirements, talk about the user interface. There's the user experience requirements, the integration points, some technical constraints, what files will actually need to be changed, and then we get into the acceptance criteria. So this acceptance criteria is great because you can utilize that in conjunction with the BrainGrid MCP to validate that when the code has been written, that it meets all the acceptance criteria for a given requirement. If we hop back over to the chat here, we can see exactly what the agent has done. It's provided some highlights, tells us what's covered, technical approach, and then it lets us know that it's ready to break this down into development tasks. But we're going to do that in the next video. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video where we take this requirement and break that into tasks and start implementing them.